Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be going through the trade targets for round 2 of the AFLW fantasy season, in what's probably going to be a very volatile couple of weeks, as especially trading in like mid prices, underpriced primos, etc. as we sort of, before we get to at least the double game weeks where it will become a little bit more straightforward, and then the last couple of weeks will just be trade in primo, trade in said primo, etc. It's going to be a lot harder to in the first couple of weeks as we try and juggle up. Do you trade in? Is this sort of an outlier score, or is this the norm for a new player? So anyway, let's just jump into this video here. McCarthy, top scorer, and I'm going to do this by average points as I think it will become a little bit relevant, and then we'll have a forward section because too good was obviously too good. But yeah, let's just go into it. McCarthy, 139. Yeah, she just absolutely smashed it. 14 tackles, 139 score. And yeah, I just don't know whether I'll actually be going for her, to be honest, with you, just because I think it's just, it stuffs up a lot more things just to jiggle to get her around in there. She did have a 76% CBA, which was really good. We also saw Miller and Newton and Kaufman get in there a little bit as well. So, yeah, I do think that she is going to be a decent target there. 1 second, let me just actually do it so that my trades aren't active, so that you guys don't know which trades I'm doing, because I don't want to ruin that video. Let me just do that quickly. There we go. That should sort it out there. We're back. But yeah, I think that that McCarthy is a really decent trade-in. I think that she's going to go up a lot in cash here. Let me just go back to this one. There we go. So I think that she's a really good trade-in. If we go to McCarthy here, she has a break-even of 43. So if she does drop an absolute stinker, if she goes back to a 75, then she goes up 91k. She still goes up. But yeah, it's more so about her just averaging, what's she going to average for the rest of the season more so. Is she going to average 80 or 90? Because if she averages 80 or 90, then 1.2 is around that, 1.1, 1.15 is around that marker. So you're really only getting her for about 90k cheaper than you would. But if she goes off again and goes to 130, then you get her like a 120, 110 type of, you get like a 110 type of scorer for roughly around 86, 85. So yeah, I think that there is merit to doing it. There's also merit to going against it, because I think she comes up against a stronger midfield now in Adelaide. I don't think Adelaide will give as much, considering what they did to Goody, Syme, Window, etc. Even though McCarthy is a different player, I just don't think she'll score necessarily as well. I think also the ruck matchup will be a lot more difficult for Strom. So I wouldn't be adjusting Strom or McCarthy, to be honest, if you don't have an injury there. So I know that sounds almost counterintuitive, but I just think that there's going to be more value, especially if you've got like a Blackburn, maybe a Pritchard. You would do it because Pritchard was really underwhelming, but to McCarthy. But there wasn't really a ruck that really went well, poorly, I would say, or that you would be switching to Strom, because I think Strom's 133 will go down. But maybe a Lucy Wales or something that you do switch to Strom to. But yeah, I don't think that these two will be targeted as much as some other girls. Hatchard, she was amazing. I think she goes down just a little bit. I don't think she puts in performances like she did on the weekend. She put up 22, 6 and 12. That's a really well-rounded stat line. But I just don't trust her to put up 120 each week. So I wouldn't be adjusting to her just yet. I think you'll see if we go to Hatchard here. Hatchard, 1 second. You'll see she needs, her break-even is still 96, so it's not like she's going to go up much in cash. And I think she has one of the latest double game weeks, so I don't think in the long run she will be able to outscore your double game weekers. As yeah, she basically, to outscore Blackburn, who scores a 95 in the next 3 weeks, because it's basically a sunk cost now. The jump from Blackburn to like a McCarthy or something like that. Blackburn will score 380 if she scores 95 4 times. Hatchard would need to score, 127 each week to outscore it, and she didn't even score it against Port Adelaide, and I expect Fremantle to be a tougher matchup, so I wouldn't go there. Marinoff, I wouldn't be trading into her because she's got a 130 odd break even. I think it's 130 flat. And I wouldn't be trading out of her because she's doing what she needs to be doing. Tai, I think this one is an intriguing one. I think a lot of people are just going to sideways trade Bonnie Too Good to Tai because it seems like the obvious one. But something in me says Houghton didn't score that well against Adelaide. And you've also got Saint, who didn't score terribly well either. She scored like a 61. I don't think Tai puts up a 120. I think she more so... I don't think she kicks 4 goals. Take the 4 goals out of it. Say that she scores 1. That's 19 points already, just taken off that. That's already a 101. And then I don't expect her... If you just look at Tai in general and her player stats, if we just go to here, Anya Tai, here we go. If we go here, 120, 92%, you see here, that was her biggest game outside of a 118 against Hawks, who weren't the greatest last year either. Her ruck time has decreased as well, so that doesn't help her out either. And she was playing who was she playing up? I don't even know who the secondary ruck was, so that doesn't help either. And yeah, you can just see this is a massive high game. Outside of that 118, her next highest is a 96 where she kicked 4. So if she doesn't kick 4 goals, say she kicks 1, what's her highest score here? Her highest score on that is an 84. Her highest score not kicking any goals here is a sort of 50, etc. So against a hard matchup here, I'll say it like this, against a hard matchup in Adelaide, if we go to her matchups against Adelaide in the past, she scored an average of 47. And against them last year, she scored 50. And I know she might have a better, and almost a similar role in general. She scored a 50. So, and if we toggle clear opponent filter, if you actually look at it, tackles-wise, that was her tied best tackle game alongside an 81, which she scored 2 goals in as well, and an 8 and a 78 where she didn't kick a goal. So, and she had 5 marks in that game. So I think a 78 is probably the high that she'll score this week or somewhere around that marker. So I'm just worried that she just pulls out a stinker here and drops like a like 30 or even 34 here in season 8 against Collingwood here. The season before that, she didn't have much ruck time, but she still put up 27s and 26s. So I don't think she scores terribly well. I don't think she'll score like a 25, 26 areas, but I think she can score like a 50 or 60, and then that really drops the value at all. If we go to Tai here for a second here, if she drops a 50 or she has a 53 break even, I think she goes around about that marker and you don't see much game. And then she really resets her break even. That break even will go up to like 100 marker. And so I just want to check here AFLW fixtures. And then I want to go to Fremantle to see their next couple of fixtures here. Filter, team, Fremantle. You'll see their next fixtures are against Adelaide and then Port. So yeah, I'm just intrigued to see how this one goes. And then they've got Melbourne and St Kilda and Geelong. So I just wonder if this week is necessarily the week to go to the likes of Tai, or whether it's next week. Frederick, she was outstanding. Similar thought process with Strom, I would think, but maybe a little bit more leniency to Frederick, given that she absolutely pounded Moffat, who was... Moffat wasn't 100%. I think she was more like 90, 95%. So she just pounded her and pounded the backup ruckman. And yeah, she just had an outstanding game. 25 hit-outs, probably could have easily had a lot more. 21 disposals, 5 and 5. I think this is a lot more replicable given the circumstances. And I think that Frederick's run-in could actually... if we go here, Frederick could be one that you almost switch out. Yeah, she's got Hawthorn, Brisbane, and then West Coast and Western Bulldogs. So that'll be interesting in the double game week, who actually scores more out of Frederick and Edmonds, given that Frederick looks really outstanding in this role. Conti. So I'm just going to flow through a lot of these mids because I don't think a lot of you will be switching anything up here as much. Conti, Riddell, Goldsworthy, Barr I wouldn't jump onto. Ali Anderson, someone that I'm considering what to do, whether it be around the double. Same sort of theory with the likes of Frederick around, are they actually going to score more than the player that I selected with respect to Blackburn and Edmonds. But I'm just willing to hold after 1 week. I'm not willing to jump at... It is a slight shadow, but not a complete shadow, I don't think. Nanscorn, McDonald, West, Prasparkas, all of these girls are doing well, but they're not ones that I would necessarily be like, got to jump at, because look, they're all over 1 million. It's going to be, if they fail, then it's a massive wasted trade, and you waste 200, 300k, I would think. Garner, Mackay, Ton Smith, all these girls can basically just get gone almost in a way, and then we can just, honestly, I'll just do this quickly, as this is probably the best way to go. Vesley wouldn't be trading in, 954k. Sydney has a really tough midfield to score against, I feel like, so Vesley will probably struggle. Webster, someone that I've considered heavily in this backline as a restructure to Bonnie Toogood being out. I think a lot of people will have Bonnie Toogood and Lutkins, and they have about, say, 1.4, 1.45 to spend, and that entails basically Webster or Darcy, or two rookies like a Hoskin, or, sorry, not two rookies, two mid-prices and a Hoskin or a Sheriff. I can see all those strategies working. So Webster's someone aligned with, who is it, Huntington, that you could go for. So I think that is a decent strategy. Beeson, no, I don't think she repeats it too much. Wales, I think, is one that did really, really well. Has a really good matchup in West Coast this week, so I expect her to really score well. McNamara, no. She's got too tough a role, and I would like to watch that Melbourne midfield for another week. Thomas just did her job. Conway, no, thank you. I think she's the second or third best midfielder at Brisbane for scoring, so I just don't want to touch that. Dempsey, no. Hanks, no. Pritchard, someone that I thought you would jump off, given a 72. I think you can jump her straight to McCarthy and go a little bit lighter in the forward line, maybe with like a Sheriff or something like that from a Toogood. And that's your way of making enough cash to still be able to do a bench reshuffle in the midfield, especially if you didn't get the combo of, probably I would say a combo of Goody, Breed, and Window is the right combo at the moment. Hurley, no, didn't like her role. Single, no. None of these girls, I didn't really like their role, to be honest. And that's all said and done there for the 900Kers. The 800Kers, Miller, I did like her role, but is it going to be sustainable playing a tough matchup? I don't think so. Warlaw in the ruck, she's playing key forward role and part-time ruck. I just don't think it's sustainable enough compared to full-on ruck roles. I think the role will dominate in the end, and I don't think she'll take 8 marks necessarily, so I would be sticking away from that. Mackin, Pierce, Ashmore, a lot of these girls are just mids. Then we have Daisy Darcy, a similar theory with the likes of a Webster. Given the Toogood and Lutkins combo was very common, and I think a lot of people are jumping off that. So, I would just be sticking away I would be sticking with trading out that combo, and Daisy Darcy alongside Sheriff works for a lot of people if they don't have much cash, because if you do have enough cash, then I think Webster and Sheriff as well could be a really good combo, but then you also need to be able to reshuffle that third bench spot potentially, or that third trade with a bench slot, which you might need to use some cash on. So Daisy Darcy and Sheriff might become a very popular duo. I think it's something that I really like, even though you think 64, that doesn't really line up, right? If we go here, and I'll do it here because I think it becomes a lot easier to see what I'm talking about here. You'll see here, Daisy Darcy had 53% time on ground for a 64, or 1.45 points per minute. She had 1 kick-in, but she also had 31% CBAs. And yeah, I just really like this role. I think if she doesn't get that injury that she had, then that's more like a 70% time on ground and she scores like an 80. And I think that's a lot more, especially with her price tag, given that if we look at Daisy Darcy here, if you look at that, she's got a break even of 62. I think she averages more closer to 70, 75. And that'll be top of the line in the back line, alongside like a Webster, who I don't think her 89 is that representative of what she'll do. So I'm more so inclined to take the risk on Daisy Darcy because it gets me a better forward line player. But yeah, I think Daisy Darcy is a really good option that's sort of hiding a little bit inside. Tiny Evans, no, she's playing forward. She won't do that well in future, I don't think, especially because Western Bulldogs should be bottom of the comp, and she's playing Richmond this week. Don't expect her to kick 1 goal 3 each week, so I expect her to have some blanks, and that'll get her down into the 50s, if not 40s and 30s. O'Dwyer, Newton is an interesting one. She did have an on-ball role, so I'd be waiting just a little bit to go with this one. Wait for her to get around get through her tough fixtures. If we go through here, we go to Fremantle. Again, I don't remember their fixtures, but that's a tough fixture. That could be an easy fixture if she does turn it around, but then she's got Melbourne, and then you've got St Kilda, Geelong. Maybe in her double you could go for her necessarily, but it's going to be tough. You're probably going to need to see an uptake in scoring for her to necessarily be one to jump on. But I do think the role is definitely there. Wales, another one that I was talking about with the the ruck switch. I think this one is the one that you can jump on Sabrina Frederick for, given that she did drop a 60, and you could do a readjustment there, especially if you have too good, and maybe just go a little bit down to from too good to like a Sheriff or someone like that, because I think that is a decent enough trade-off. And then the rest here didn't really score that well, and their role, I think, is a little bit up in the air, to be honest with you, especially those port mids, because those younger rookie port mids have done really well compared to the older ones. Ruckline. Allen, someone that you can maybe change Wales to, but I wouldn't be doing that because I don't know if Allen will necessarily score that well, given that Allen had 2 goals won against a Port duo, and I think she's got a really tough matchup in Strom at Freo, so I think that'll be tough to score. Runnelson, how did she go? Let me just check this. Runnels, I think it is. No CBAs, 86% time on ground. 1 goal. I don't know if I like this role, to be honest. It's a forward role. She's been a really good scorer in the past. I just don't know if she can really return that scoring again. I just don't know if she gets a role. So, yeah, I would be waiting on that one, to be honest with you, for a midfield slot, given that she's a midfield, and the midfielders, we want definite, like, full-on ball roles. And she doesn't have that. She's got more of a forward role. McAvoy, I wouldn't touch this one, given that she's going to be playing everywhere. And so, yeah, I just wouldn't touch many of the Swans players, to be honest with you. Mackenzie did pretty well. Sheeran's coming back next week, not this weekend. So, Mackenzie, I wouldn't be jumping on her just because I think that Sheeran will take away a lot of it, some of her points at least. But I think that you can hold her for another week if you already have her. O'Loughlin suspended, probably someone that I jump on next week, given North's, I think, fixture opens up a little bit, North Melbourne. If we go here, North Melbourne, where are they? I've just skipped over them. North Melbourne, they do start to open up their fixture quite a lot, and she does have the round 5 double. So I think she's someone that you can upgrade immediately to next week out of, get one of the rookies off, because she's got that round 5 double, and something that I don't think I've got many girls having the round 5 double. And I think if we look at her, don't trade her in this week because she's suspended, but definitely keep her in calculations for next week. She's someone that I will definitely be bringing up, even though she didn't have any CBAs, so that kind of sucks. She was probably a wing role, so that probably negates that either. But she plays in the forward line, so maybe it's just better. But anyway, don't worry about O'Loughlin because she's suspended. Bodie, no. Parry, no. Bowen, no. Gilroy, no. A lot of these are just like straight up no's just because their role isn't that good. I've checked a lot of these. Heath, I just want to check quickly with Melbourne, as she may get a really good role given that wasn't involved in midfield, don't want her. And then we keep on going. I don't really like many of these other girls. And Sydney girls, you can just bypass. Randall, another one that could be an interesting watch. As she could be one to replace in the forward line, not necessarily this week, but maybe next week if she does score well, as she did have a good role. If we look at their CBAs, you'll see here, really good role. I just want her to return some scoring first, as I do think Adelaide's matchups do get a little bit easier from memory. Fremantle, that's tough. Hawthorn, I think that'll be a pretty good matchup. Then she plays Brisbane, that's tough-ish. But then she comes up against St Kilda and Melbourne in the double. GWS, I think that's a good matchup. Collingwood and it's Melbourne and GWS in the double, so that could be variable in the double. And then plays Collingwood, North and Geelong, so that could be tough in the long run, but we'll just have to see if that role translates into points. Huda, I don't like that role too much, and then we go scrolling down some more. I don't think there's many others here, to be honest with you. I should have just done this, to be honest, and then you'd get a lot of that. And then you'll go 600Kers. Hoskin, I really like this trade-in if you but I'm not doing it because I think there's a better trade in. But I'm just, the only caveat I have to this trade in is Swanson coming in. How does that affect her role? Because she only had 27% CBAs or something like that. If we just go here quickly. So I'm just wondering, does that role really change dramatically because of the CBA? Yeah, 27 for CBAs, 27%. I wonder if she drops back into a back line or if she drops into the forward line, I'll trade her out so quickly like there's no tomorrow when the round 2 finishes. But yeah, so that's why I'm just a little bit worried about her. Goldrick, if you don't have her, grab her. I was trying to read into the article about Goldrick and how they're going to structure up now that Harris is out. And I think Hall's going to go into the forward line more. And I think Hall can still score from the forward line. But I'm just wondering, does that open up Goldrick more to a midfield role, or does Goldrick as well move out? So this one's a wait and watch for me. I'm not too confident with how Goldrick's movement is going to, how her position is going to move. So I just want to watch. Allen, get rid of her. Friswell, I think a lot of people are jumping on her, even though I'm not too confident. She's got a wing role, and wingers can drop 20s, 30s, etc. I'm not too confident with Friswell. I looked at her player stats, I'm pretty sure as well, and let me just give you this. I'm pretty sure this was a massive career high for her in terms of scoring. If you actually look at it here, you can see, just looking at, yeah, that's a career high for her. Her next best is a 68. You can see that the last game, similar roles. She dropped to 27 in probably almost the same role as that. So yeah, I'm just not too confident that she puts up the similar numbers again. So yeah, I would be sticking away from her, especially if they just get on the wrong wing. That can pretty much take away 30, 40 points that easily because the women's team doesn't switch as much. Peterson, Saints, McDonough, Gay, Shirley, Campbell, Van der Heuvel, Zanios, Cordner. Let's just go to points because this will be an easier way. There's no one here that I really like, or that haven't already explained. Wakeford, no. Derby, Garnett, Saints, Thompson, Sherlock, Postlethwaite, Ham. No one here is really standing out, I'll be honest with you. Then we just go to the 500Ks. I think there's one or two more that I just want to highlight. We talked about Simon the rookies. Richards, I'm not too certain that this role holds, or this scoring holds, I should say. St Kilda here quickly. Richards not involved in the CBAs, which is making me a little bit worried that it's a wing role. I probably said that half the comp isn't in a wing role given what I've been saying today. But you just see here, look at this, forward pocket / wing-ish. And you look at this in 2020, I mean, that's 2021. Can't take much reference here. But look at this similar role-ish, 34 here. Similar-ish role, or more of a wing role, more of actually attacking role, 45. A 9 on 70%. Like, I just do not like the odds, given that 68 is actually a massive career high, so I wouldn't be going for Richards. Sheriff is someone that I definitely think you can target. If you look at the Hawthorn CBAs, and Stratton's still got another 2 to 3 weeks out, so I think that Stratton, or is it 2 weeks out? So I think Stratton is one that won't interfere too much with the CBAs. But if you look at here, you've got Wales and Vukic shared it, by the way, just those are the two rucks. But you've got Fleming, Breed, Sheriff, Bates, and West. I think Sheriff's role is pretty safe on 59%. I think Breed is also on 53% pretty safe. I don't think Fleming takes too much time. Up on the, let me just check this, just to confirm this, that I'm thinking this. She did have 70% last year, so yeah, I think that's more of a half-forward wing role, so I'm not too confident in Fleming. So Fleming may change this around. It may put sort of egg on my face with this, but yeah, I'm pretty confident in Sheriff and Breed scoring well. They've still got Collingwood this week, which should be a good enough scorer. So yeah, I'm really confident in those two putting up 70 scores, and especially with their forward stats, it doesn't, if she puts up a 70, she's valuable. She doesn't need to put up 80, 90, 100. So yeah, I'm pretty confident in Sheriff, even with the 30% CBA role, putting up a really good score. And then there's no one else really here. Sahoy, I thought was really good. I just want to check her CBAs quickly. Getting pretty long videos here, but it's sort of a... so Hoy, 13%, I think she probably drops a little bit lower, to be honest with you. And then there's no one else here that I really like too much, to be honest with you. That didn't put up a score that I think a rookie on an odd night out can put up. So anyway, that is the video there going through the trade targets for round 2 of the AFLW fantasy season. I hope you guys enjoyed. You got something out of it. You guys hopefully are looking more in depth into the roles rather than just directly seeing a score and just punting it, because we've seen especially a lot of these girls on wingers. Wingers can either basically put up 20 or like 70. So you got to just stay clear of those winger roles as much as possible. And yeah, if you did enjoy the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.